On the phone, we have Pro Football Hall of Famer, former Pittsburgh Panther and New Orleans Saint. He also toiled a little with the San Francisco 49ers, Rickey Jackson. How you doing, Mr. Jackson?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing today?
Great. You played football in college with my favorite player of all time, Dan Marino. What was that like?
I tell you what, man, he was a great guy. He's still a great guy, and he's one of the best friends I ever had. And one thing about Dan, man, what you see, I mean, he's terrible.
How did you end up going to college in Pittsburgh?
Well, I was down Florida, and Pittsburgh was national championship. You know, they won all the games. They was on TV all the time, so you know that was great for me.
And you had a great
Then
coach.
the Miami and the Florida State and Florida, they wasn't you know that hot back then when I came out of 77. You know.
And you guys had a better quarterback with Dan Marino than Jim Kelly down there in Miami.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Dan came in, we helped recruited Dan my junior year. He 2 years with me, and I'll tell you what, man, we had a lot of great times. He used to, when in college, he used to come down to Florida and be with me all the time.
That defense was just loaded. They had you and about, 5, 6 other pro football players on that team.
No, yeah, way more than that, man. We had like about 13, 14 guys get drafted off of that as we came out that year. So we had a lot of them to make the NFL that year. And me and Russ Fair went in the Hall of Fame together. You know, we come out of that 4 years together. So you know, you don't see stuff like that too often.
Russ told me that Jackie Sherrill kept switching positions, making guys on offense, on defense, and vice versa. He didn't know where he was playing.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Russ he could have did it all. You know what I mean? But he settled for playing. And he was a load. They couldn't mess with him. I think he was the best. He was the best lineman I ever seen. You know, for us being around and being with.
I mean, the linebackers are pretty good too. Was what you and Hugh Green?
Oh yeah, I think he was the best one of the best college players I ever played. You know what I mean? Nobody talk about a lot of people, but for him to come in second for the Heisman in college and defense back then, that was pretty strong. You know.
What was Jackie Sherrill like as a coach?
Jackie was coach. He was a great guy. You know, everybody liked him. I cared for him a lot. You know, he was one of those guys that he was for the players. You know what I mean? And if you did your job good, and Jackie really, you know, he was more like Nick Saban. You know, he tried to always keep a good team, you know, and keep a lot of good guys together. So I see a guy Nick Saban being just like Jackie, and Nick keep a lot of good guys around him.
How hard was it not winning the national championship at Pittsburgh?
It was real hard because, I mean, every year, you know, you go 2 years in a row, you know, you go 11-1. And it was really hard. But, I mean, you know, it was just something that, you know, one game a year kind of got to us. And, you know, we stayed around the top 5, you know, every year, you know. So you couldn't, you know, it wasn't bad. You know, you hate to lose. And, you know, we struggled with losing. Didn't never want to lose. So our thing was that we didn't ever supposed to lose. So every year, you know, for about 3 years, one game did us and kind of, you know, knocked us out of being where we wanted to be at.
And you probably don't forget who those teams were that beat you.
Yeah, Florida State beat us and North Carolina beat us. So, you know, that's my junior year North Carolina, my senior year Florida State. You know, we lost one game a year to those teams that, you know, we should have easily beat, you know.
Oh, exactly.
Both teams caught us down when it was real hot, and you know we didn't play that well. I had a lot of turnovers.
Do you think your best game in college was that Gator Bowl?
Yeah, that was my best game in college was the Gator Bowl. I mean, I had a lot of good games, but the Gator Bowl, they were looking at Hugh Green and George Rogers, and I had a chance to show, you know, my skills and my talent. So I said that was a game that really, you know, had people looking at, you know, that's somebody that's on the other side. You know, people up in the East, they always know they have somebody on the other side, but for the world to get a chance to see it, you know, that was a marquee game, you know.
And then your MVP of the East-West game.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, that took off from there, you know. I mean, everybody knew that. I mean, Lawrence Taylor always, you know, he always, you know, knew that I was real good, and you know, we was good friends and stuff, but a lot of people just waiting to see what happened. You know, a lot of times when you're in college, you really don't know what a guy going to turn out to be. I mean, just like you said, all these guys now, some of them you think going to be superstars. end up ain't panning out in the pros, so it's a whole different ball game when you get to the NFL.
Yeah, because you and Lawrence Taylor were the premier linebackers of the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, and, they a lot of people know that Lawrence was going to be there, but, they didn't know, exactly how far I was going to get.
Did you know where you get drafted, or was it basically you had no idea?
Well, a lot of them tell me I was going to get drafted late first round, early second round. So my thing was, I was playing basketball when I got drafted. I didn't know it. I was out playing basketball when I got drafted because I didn't. I said, well, when it take me, I could take me, but I wasn't going to stay home trying to wait to see where I go at.
In New Orleans, had a pretty good draft that year. You had George Rogers as part of that draft too, right?
Oh, yeah, we had George Rogers, Frank Warren, Jim Brooks, Hobie Brenner, Hobie Garzon. We had a lot of them, man. We had Gene Gladys, we had so many guys, Johnny Poole. They made the team. Russ Gary was drafted second round. So we had a lot of good players back then with drafted,
And you had a new coach in Bum Phillips, who just passed away. What was he like?
He was a great guy. I mean, he was a player coach. And one thing Bum did, I mean, even you can tell he was a player coach. That he run Leon Gray and Ken Stabler and all those guys there, and Earl Cameron, who he had over with him with Houston. I mean, so a lot of those guys were finished, but Bum felt like he could take a year or two with them and win with them, so he brought them over.
So you played in all 16 games your rookie season. You were Rookie of the Year. Did you say, you know what, this is easy here?
Nah, it was easy from day one. I mean, coming out of Pittsburgh, we was ready, we came out of there ready to play. I mean, we had such a great practice, such a great team. You went against some of the best guys in the country when you were at Pitt, And Mike Miller was the first round pick. He went like the 10th pick with Indianapolis that year. So we had a lot of great running backs we went against. We went against Russ Grimm and Mark May and all those guys and practice, man. Yeah, you had a lot of hogs, Jimbo Corbin. We had a lot of guys you went against who was good. Those guys were great football players you went against. So, if you can beat those guys, you're going to be able to do good in pro.
Everybody says that New Orleans linebacking group was probably the best in NFL history. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, not only that, anytime they vote you as the best, something. The only thing we didn't have a championship. Everything else we had all accolades, all four of us went to the Pro Bowl. That would never happen again. And, we had everything except the Hall of Fame, except the championship. We didn't win the Super Bowl. Everybody think that you ain't great unless you win the Super Bowl, So we didn't win that. That's why a lot of people, but you came down to the Superdome and play us. Those four guys, sometimes are going to get you. You're going to get your bell wrong. So, I think we had the best group of guys that you can put together.
I mean, it was you, Pat Swilling, Mills. You were loaded.
Yeah, Von Johnson was the other guy.
Yeah, Von Johnson.
Just like I see that San Francisco, they make me think of, they got a lot of guys kind of similar to what we was, And then they got the same coach that we had, Vic Fangio. So, he do a lot of things with those guys that we did, back in the day. They're still doing it today, and it worked.
Oh, it did. I mean, the other linebacking core everybody talked about from the 80s were the Giants with Harry Carson and Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks. But again, you had a 3-4, which you had four dominant guys.
Yeah, and those guys, they played a different system. They played a system where they was trying to, have four guys up front to do the most damage. We had three guys up front, so our linebacker had to fill in and do a lot of stuff. Plus, Bill Parcells had a great coaching staff. They did good up there, They won the Super Bowl a couple of times, so they got their potential with Carl Banks and LT and Harry Carlson, Then they got two of them in the Hall of Fame. LT and Eric Carlson. So they had great linebackers too. Even look at the Bears. The Bears have a pretty good linebacker. Otis Wilson, Marshall, and Singletary. They had pretty good linebackers too. But I think overall, we was more physical and faster, made more plays.
I mean, yeah, you guys were able to stop the run and also rush the passer, where the Giants, Lawrence Taylor was basically a pass rusher, and Harry Carson was towards the end of his career.
But we can cover too, you know what I mean? You know, one thing about us guys, all us, you know, we was cover guys too, you know what I mean? Just wasn't, you know, one dimension, you know, and that was great, you know. And I think I was a better run player than most guys, but we were great pass cover guys too.
You finished your career with 136 sacks, 8 interceptions. I mean, for a linebacker to get that many sacks is incredible in a 3-4 especially.
Well, you know, I used to look at it, you know, that's why, you know, you should look at it, what they was going by all the while, you know, what guys did. You got to look at the titles that I had. You know, I had over 1,000 or something titles. I look at that more than anything, and playing 200 and some games, you know. I mean, I look at that more than the sacks and stuff, you know what I mean? People talk about the sacks, but look how many games you played in, and you know, that meant more to me having 1,100 and something tackles over a career. I mean, you ain't going to find that too often, you know?
No, exactly. I mean, to get that many tackles, you have to be almost a middle linebacker.
Right. So that's the kind of stuff that counts to me the most.
And like Bruce Smith said, I mean, it's tough to get sacks in a 3-4. I mean, because the defensive linemen there are getting double teamed, whereas if you're playing in a 4-3, it's a lot easier.
Around the corner a lot. The Superdome, you couldn't hear the snap down. You couldn't hear nothing. And you got to do what the fans did too, you know, being so loud, you know.
Is there one game that stands out in your career as your best game?
Probably playing against Atlanta. You know, Atlanta was trying to beat us, and I had about 4 sacks that day. And the last drive, they were coming down to beat us, and I jumped off and tackled the quarterback and ended up winning the game. So, you know, Atlanta was always Atlanta, you know, the team that I really tried to get at 49 to Atlanta and the Rams, you know, our division games.
What made you go to San Francisco to finish your career?
Super Bowl. And Eddie D was a great owner and stuff, you know, and he let me know exactly, you know, what I can expect and stuff. And then he had always stuck older players at the end of their career and gave them a couple more years. And didn't have to practice a whole lot, didn't have to do a whole lot. Got a chance to get prepared for the game and stuff.
So it was a difference in ownership with New Orleans versus San Francisco?
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't out there different ownership. It was just out there that when my time was up with New Orleans, they didn't want me no more. You know, Coach Morrow had kind of took over then, and he kind of got rid of me, Ron, Sam, and Pat. You know, he wanted to go, you know, younger guys. They want us guys no more, so we had to go somewhere else, you know. So everybody left.
And your coach with San Francisco was what, George Seifert?
Right, George Seifert.
And what was that like? I mean, you said it was more easygoing?
Oh, yeah, more easygoing. I mean, you know, plus you had a lot of older guys who went there for the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? You look at that team we had, you know, we went there for the Super Bowl. That was bigger. They built the Super Bowl team. Should have won 2 years in a row, you know. Man, playing with Ken Norton and Gary Plummer, you know, all those guys were great guys. You know, them, Merck Hank, Tim McDonald, Eric Davis. So we had a lot of great guys. You know what I mean? Brian Young, Stubblefield. Man, we had so many great guys on that team. So that was an all-star team.
Oh, exactly. I mean, Richard Dent finished his career.
That ain't count. Now, Richard got hurt that year. He tore his knee up. That ain't counting the offensive guys, you know, who we had. You know, we ain't talking about Richard Water and Jerry Wright and Steve Young. That group was flawed, man. We ain't talking about those guys.
Did you practice against?
You know, we had an all-star team.
Did you practice against Jerry Rice, or did the first team not play against the first team defense?
Yeah, no, we didn't have to practice against Jerry Rice now. No, we didn't have to practice against them too much. I mean, they went against Deion then, you know, a lot of one-on-one drills and stuff, but we didn't have to, you know, we didn't have to do a whole lot against each other. I definitely beating each other up.
Do you think Jerry Rice was the best player in NFL history?
Yeah, I would say he in the top 3. I would definitely say he in the top 3. I mean, you know, I look at other guys, and I definitely would say he was in the top 3.
Who would the other 2 be?
Well, you know, I really, for a moment, I really liked the way I really liked Earl Campbell for a moment. I think Earl Campbell was a load. I mean, for the years that, you know, that he played, I think he ran the ball. He kind of really showed. But they had so many great ones, man. I mean, you know, just looking at guys, man, I just hard to say. But I think, you know, took out a couple of guys, you know, that was really great in their position. You know what I mean? And Jerry Rice is one. I like the Earl and Walter Payton. But they're some great guys. Them come along. All them guys, great guys.
Oh, exactly. I mean, most people say it's either Jerry Rice or Jim Brown as the top two.
Yeah, well, a lot of people say that. Joe Montana, Dan, all those guys, man, all those guys were great. It's hard to pick one. I look at me and Joe Green, man. Every time I see him, he look like he still can play today. So there are a whole lot of great guys. I got a chance to always watch Jack Lamb and Jack Ham. So I've seen a whole lot of. It was hard to tell who was great. All of them was great.
Who did you model yourself after? What player?
Jack Ham. I think Jack Ham more than anybody. I studied Jack Ham more. Jack Ham was this Jack Ham, but always. The only difference I was in Jack Ham was I was a pass rusher with everything else.
When did you know when it was time to retire?
Say again?
How did you know when it was time to retire?
I started for 15 years, and I got 15 years in, and I thought about going back for a year, and I just quit. I actually 15 and got that in, and that was enough.
How did you feel when you found out you got inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Say again?
How did you feel when you found out you were being named to the Hall of Fame?
Well, it was late. I should have been picked a lot earlier. You look at my stats of some of the guys who was in there. I know that I should have been in there a long time ago. But, I said to myself this morning, I was just thinking that, guys, sometimes, when other people got your faith in their hand, you don't really know how it's going to come out. So you just have to thank God for just getting. And I was just thinking that this morning. So even though you deserve to get in and you should have been in a long time ago, that's still, you don't have no faith on that, so you don't have no decision on that. So you just have to get in whenever they let you in.
Oh, you're right. Chris Dolman, they made him wait. They made Richard Dent wait. They made a lot of these guys wait.
Oh, yeah. They're making other guys wait now. Look at Tim Brown, he waits. You look at Bettersdale, you look at
Charles Haley.
Charles Haley waiting. Not on that, look at Kevin Green. What make you make Kevin Green wait? Kevin Green, one of the best in the world besides me and LT, and he waiting. I don't understand that. You put LT, me, and Kevin Green right there with us. So I don't know, why they make Kevin Green wait. And then Robert Brazil had 9 or 10 Pro Bowls. Why Robert Brazil waiting all the years? Robert Brazil was better than me and LT. Robert Brazil was the best we've seen. That's what we thought of our game after Robert Brazil. So why he waiting all the years?
No,
tell me that. Now, Robert Brazil was who me and LT wanted to be like. So now why he waiting?
No, you're exactly right. It makes absolutely no sense.
Come on. All right. Who did it better than Robert Brazil? How many Pro Bowls he had? He had more Pro Bowls than I had, and all the rest of the guys had. So, why they doing him like that? So, you can't, what can you say? He ain't got no decision. He ain't got no choice. And they act like they done forgot about him. Now they trying to get the kicker, the punter in from the Raiders guy. They're trying to get him in. The great punter used to be for the Raiders. He should have been here.
Yeah, he was the best punter in NFL history.
He was the best punter in history. He changed the game. So, those guys vote, man. They don't really, they're not their football guys, So you don't look for them to know what they should know. But the only thing about it is they went off and they got to be sports writers and beat writers and all that. So they get a chance to have a say-so over something that they really know nothing about all the time. So I just look at it and say, thank God that you got in and you keep moving. That's the only thing you can do. Well, for them to hold Robert Brazil and Kevin Green out like they're doing, they just don't make no sense.
Jerry Kramer of the Packers, the great lineman, they made that guy wait. He was one of the top players of all time.
I don't know those guys as much. I know Hannah and Mooney and all those guys. But I don't know none of those guys. But I know the linebackers. I know who I thought that I wanted to pound my game at, and I thought who was kind of similar to me. I know that. I know who was good in that area.
Don't get
Wilbur
Marshall started. He says that Singletary was the third best linebacker on their team behind him and Otis Wilson.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. When they put guys in, they put guys in who they like and who the coaches, get publicity and stuff too.
It's
They don't
four
be
letters.
a long time the best guys don't get in, man.
It's ESPN. If you look at these guys getting in the last several years, they're all ESPN guys.
Well, no. And all those guys work for the TV station. They got first choice of getting in. You get a TV job, they're gonna get you in because the TV people, they know the reporters and they know, that's cut fade with man football. It's just getting a bit of joke the way some guys get in and the stuff that do to get in. I have guys that get me for petition and all that to try to get me to find stuff for them to get in and help them get in and all that. I didn't do none of that. My thing was, if they put me in, they put me in. If they didn't, I didn't worry about it.
What upset me this year, I was at the Hall for the second time for that gold jacket dinner, is when ESPN, Rich Eisen kept saying, Warren Sapp, my guy, the greatest defensive lineman in history. I'm like, you know what? He wasn't the best lineman in history.
Man, that was a bunch of... I look at all that junk, man. That's a bunch of hard watch. You tell me, he much straight hand. I got 100 and got 100 and some starts, man. Straight hand shit, you can keep them guys around from the stuff they did, man.
No.
But I don't worry about it no more. I kind of passed that stage with it,
So now you got your foundation that keeps you pretty busy.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. Now we're starting a school here, getting after school, got kids and stuff, that you're finna start recording and all that music and stuff. So, that's the stuff that you're trying to do now. You're trying to take a different approach to life and try to help people,
Exactly, because I'm sure you had a lot of help along the way.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of help along the way, coming from the Pahokee town I come from, you need
Exactly. Who was the toughest guy you went up against?
Toughest guy I went up against, probably Jackie Slater.
What made him so tough?
Well, played 20-something years. They gave him a battle, and he was a guy that if I know I beat, I was doing good. So I always worked to get ready to try to beat him because I know he was going to, come with a good fight. Well, the Rose was tough too. I used to go against him in practice. He was pretty tough too. But that was about the best too. Jackie Slater and Willie Rose.
And then Willie went in the Hall of Fame 2 years ago, which was nice.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, we got a ring of honor here. The Cowboys game. Me, him, and Archie Manning doing the ring of honor.
But no one could take that from you. You were the first member of the Saints to go in the Hall of Fame.
All right, they can't never take that away. They can take a lot of things away, but they can't die with that one.